In the quiet suburbs of Seattle, where the rain whispered secrets to the evergreens and the city lights flickered like distant stars, Alexander Thompson lived a life of polished solitude. He was a man in his early 40s, tall and broad-shouldered, with salt and pepper hair that spoke of late nights at his tech firm downtown. As the founder of a successful software company, Alex had built an empire from lines of code and endless ambition. But wealth couldn't fill the empty spaces in his heart. Not since his wife, Sarah, had passed away 5 years ago, leaving him alone with their daughter, Lily. Lily was 7 now, a sprite of a girl with curly brown hair that bounced like spring coils and eyes the color of the Puget Sound on a sunny day. She was the light in Alex's world, her laughter a melody that chased away the shadows of boardroom battles. Their home was a sprawling modern house on a hill overlooking the water, all glass walls and warm wood floors, designed by architects who understood luxury but not always the ache of loss. Every evening, as the sun dipped low, Alex would tuck Lily into bed, reading her stories of faraway adventures until her eyelids fluttered shut. It was their ritual, a gentle anchor in the storm of single parenthood. But lately, Alex felt the weight of it all pressing down. The company demanded more of him: endless meetings, investor calls that stretched into the night, Lily's school plays and soccer games blurred into a haze of half-remembered moments. He hired nannies, of course, kind women who kept the house running like clockwork. Yet, deep down, Alex yearned for something more. A connection, perhaps. Someone to share the quiet dinners, to laugh at Lily's silly jokes, to make the house feel less like a museum and more like a home. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves turned shades of amber and gold, Alex decided to walk home from the office instead of taking his sleek black SUV. The rain had paused, leaving the air fresh and alive with the scent of wet earth. He needed to clear his head after a grueling day negotiating a merger that could double his fortune or bury it in red tape. His mind wandered to Lily, waiting at home with Mrs. Jenkins, the latest nanny. Would she remember to make Lily's favorite mac and cheese? Or would it be another microwave meal? As he turned down a narrow alley shortcut near the waterfront, a soft sob caught his ear. It was faint, like the rustle of fallen leaves, but unmistakable. Alex slowed, his polished loafers scuffing the pavement. There, huddled against a graffiti-covered wall, was a woman. She looked about his age, mid-30s, with disheveled auburn hair framing a face pale from exhaustion. Her coat was threadbare, clutched tightly around her as if it were her only shield against the chill. Empty coffee cups and a cardboard sign reading "Lost everything at anything helps" lay scattered nearby. He hesitated. In his world of boardrooms and billion-dollar deals, encounters like this were abstract at charity galas, not real faces in the rain. But something in her eyes, when she looked up, stopped him cold. They were green, like the moss on ancient oaks, filled with a quiet desperation that mirrored his own hidden loneliness. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice gentle, almost a whisper. She wiped her cheek with a trembling hand. "Just tired. Lost my job last month, evicted yesterday. It's been a rough week." Her name, she said, was Emily Harper. Once a graphic designer for a small firm, now adrift in a city that chewed up dreams and spat out the pieces. Alex's heart twisted. He thought of Sarah, how she'd always volunteered at shelters, insisting that wealth was meant to be shared. "You can't stay here," he said simply. "It's getting dark. Let me take you somewhere warm, just for tonight." Emily eyed him warily, the skepticism of someone who'd been burned too many times. But the rain began again, a soft patter that turned insistent. With a nod, she gathered her few belongings, a worn backpack and a sketchbook, and followed him to his car. The drive was silent, save for the rhythmic swish of the wipers. Alex stole glances at her, noting the way her fingers fidgeted with the strap of her bag. He didn't press for details. Some stories unfolded in their own time. When they pulled into the driveway of his home, the house glowed like a beacon, its windows spilling warm light onto the manicured lawn. Emily's eyes widened. "This is yours?" she murmured. "Just a place to lay my head," Alex replied with a small smile, though he knew it was more a fortress of glass and steel that echoed with absence. Inside, the air smelled of cinnamon from the candles Mrs. Jenkins had lit. Lily was already in her pajamas, a fluffy unicorn onesie that made her look even smaller. She was coloring at the kitchen island when they entered, her crayons scattered like confetti. Mrs. Jenkins, a stout woman with silver hair pinned in a bun, raised an eyebrow but said nothing as Alex introduced Emily. "This is my friend Emily," he said to Lily. "She's going to stay with us tonight. She had a long day." Lily tilted her head, her crayon pausing mid-stroke. "Hi, Emily, want some cookies? Daddy makes the best ones, but Mrs. Jenkins burned them last time." Her innocence cut through the awkwardness like sunlight through fog. Emily managed a smile, the first real one Alex had seen. "Cookies sound perfect, sweetie." As Mrs. Jenkins bustled off to prepare the guest room, Alex showed Emily around. The house was a study in contrasts, to sleek minimalist furniture paired with Lily's toys spilling from every corner. They ended in the living room, where a massive fireplace crackled softly, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Emily sank into the plush sofa, her body visibly relaxing for the first time. Over chamomile tea, Sarah's old favorite. Emily opened up a little. She'd grown up in a small town in Oregon, dreamed big, moved to Seattle for the art scene, but the pandemic had shuttered her studio, and a bad breakup had left her reeling. "I never thought I'd end up like this," she admitted, staring into the flames. "Sleeping on the street, it's like everything just slipped away." Alex nodded, his own voice low. "I know about loss. My wife, she died in a car accident. Lily was too. It changes you, makes you hold on tighter to what's left." He paused, the words hanging in the air like smoke. It was the first time in months he'd spoken of Sarah to a stranger, but Emily listened, her green eyes steady, offering a solace he hadn't realized he craved. Upstairs, Lily's bedtime story waited. Alex read to her as always, his voice a soothing rumble. But tonight, as he kissed her forehead and turned out the light, Lily's small hand tugged at his sleeve. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice laced with curiosity. "Why is she sleeping here?" Alex sat on the edge of her bed, the unicorn lamp casting a soft glow. "Emily's had a hard time, pumpkin, like when your bike broke and you couldn't ride it anymore. She's just needs a safe place to rest for a bit. We'll help her, okay?" Lily thought about that, her brows furrowing in that adorably serious way. "Like how you helped the bird with the broken wing? We made a nest for it." "Exactly like that." He smiled, tucking the covers around her. "Now, sleep tight, dream of unicorns." But sleep didn't come easy for Alex that night. In the guest room down the hall, Emily lay awake, the silk sheets a foreign luxury against her skin. She traced the patterns on the ceiling, wondering if this was a dream or a trap. Men like Alex didn't just appear out of alleys. Yet, there was a kindness in him, a quiet strength that reminded her of her father back in Oregon before the Alzheimer's took him. The next morning dawned gray and misty, the kind of Seattle day that begged for coffee and contemplation. Alex was up early, brewing a pot strong enough to wake the dead. Lily bounded down the stairs, her energy boundless, chattering about a dream involving flying cats. Emily emerged tentatively, her hair tied back, looking more arrested but still guarded. "Breakfast?" Alex offered, sliding plates of pancakes across the island. Lily insisted on adding whipped cream smiles to everyone's. As they ate, conversation flowed like the syrup, slow at first, then sweeter. Emily shared sketches from her book, whimsical designs of cityscapes with hidden magic. Lily was mesmerized, declaring Emily her new art Andy. Alex watched, a warmth spreading in his chest he hadn't felt since Sarah. It was simple, this moment, 3 people around a table, laughter punctuating the clink of forks. But life, as Alex knew, wasn't all pancakes and sketches. By midday, reality intruded. His phone buzzed with emails, deadlines looming, a crisis at the office. Emily, too, had her own shadows. She mentioned a job interview downtown, but her voice wavered. "I don't have clean clothes, or confidence." "Stay here today," Alex said without thinking. "Use whatever you need. Lily's got school, but I'll be back by 5. It was a gentle push, a bridge over the chasm of her doubts. Emily nodded, gratitude flickering in her eyes. The days blurred into a tentative rhythm. Emily stayed on, helping with Lily's homework, turning the living room into an impromptu art studio. Alex found excuses to come home early, drawn by the sound of their voices mingling with Lily's giggles. There were walks along the waterfront, where Emily pointed out hidden murals, and evenings by the fire, where stories wove them closer. Yet, tension simmered beneath the surface. Alex's world wasn't built for this fragility. Investors whispered about his distractions, and Mrs. Jenkins quit abruptly, muttering about unconventional arrangements. Emily, too, wrestled with her independence. Late one night, as rain lashed the windows, she confronted him in the kitchen. "Why are you doing this, Alex? I'm not a charity case." "Or something more?" He set down his mug, the steam curling like unspoken fears. "Because seeing you here, it feels right. Like a piece we didn't know was missing. Lily adores you, and me. I haven't felt this alive since. Well, since before." She searched his face, the vulnerability raw. "But what if I can't give back? What if I'm broken?" The twist came softly, like dawn breaking. Emily pulled out her sketchbook, flipping to a page she'd hidden. It was a portrait of Emma, Alex and Lily laughing on the sofa, her own figure in the background, smiling. "You gave me a chance to see myself again. Not as the woman on the street, but as part of something." Alex's throat tightened. In that moment, the walls he built around his heart cracked. He reached for her hand, their fingers intertwining like roots seeking soil. "Then stay." "Not as a guest, as family." Weeks turned to months, the rain giving way to tentative spring blooms. Emily landed a freelance gig through Alex's connections, her designs lighting up his company's app. Lily's question from that first night became a family joke, retold over dinners with a wink. "Why is she sleeping here?" Lily would tease, and Emily would ruffle her hair. "Because Daddy's heart was big enough for one more." One evening, as cherry blossoms drifted like pink snow, Alex proposed not with fanfare, but with a simple ring from Sarah's collection, resized for Emily's finger. Lily, clutching a bouquet of wildflowers, beamed as they exchanged vows in the backyard, the sound murmuring approval. In the end, it wasn't about the millions in Alex's bank account or the glass house on the hill. It was about the quiet courage to open a door in the rain, to let a stranger become a story. And in that story, they found not just shelter, but a home that breathed with love. As Lily snuggled between them on the sofa that night, watching fireflies dance outside, Alex whispered to Emily, "Thank you for staying." She smiled, her green eyes reflecting the stars. "Thank you for inviting me in."